What's going on, boys? My name is Sid, and welcome back to Season 8, Episode 1, US Speed Tour Cities. This is a video I was going to make a while ago, because the thing I'm going to talk about in this video was obvious. It was so obvious. But then the issue was, I found out that it actually was true before I got the video out. So technically, I didn't want to upload a video speculating about something that, yes, I filmed everything before I found out. But then, you know, under NDA, I found out that, yeah, this was actually gonna happen. So I delayed that video, but here it is. Today, I'm talking about the Summit cars that are returning this episode. That is the Magma Edition Divo and the Ferrari F12 TDF. This thing is an iconic Summit car. The third Summit car, no, sorry, oh wait, no, it couldn't be the third. Sorry, the fifth Summit car to ever be in the game. It was obvious this thing was coming back, and I'll explain why. And why this thing is so iconic, too. Because there's a whole story behind that. Right here, we're on the new island. We're on the Motoflex arena, which people have been loving. It's so sick. Let's head into the underwater area. I know we're taking the Magma underwater, which isn't really the, yeah, that seems a bit counterintuitive, but here we go. Also, this is back when I was in the phase of using a lot of vanities. Oh my god, wait, the water looks a lot clearer on PlayStation. I can actually kind of like see stuff through there. There was a boat there. Yeah, that was a boat. Wait a minute. God, this tunnel is so sick. Some people said it looks a lot like Hot Wheels accelerators. I unfortunately never watched that, but you know, if it looks like that, it looks like that. Then yeah, there you go. We've always got Trap Spangled Banner right. I went very heavy on the vanities here on this thing. Let's do a little 360. Yeah, we could have, like, if I did it a bit later, we could have 360 entered. Oh, well. But yeah, this thing was the fifth Summit car ever added, and that means something. Because the first Summit car ever added was the Red Fury Evo, which was in a rerun at the beginning of last episode. The second Summit car ever added was the Lamborghini Peppermente, the second Summit car to also return in between the normal Summit cars in the first episode. So it could have just been a fluke, you know, they just happened to add the first ever Summit car and then the second ever Summit car rerunning in between the regular Summit cars. I knew that I needed to wait till at least episode 2 before I could sort of latch on to a theory of any kind. And this is where that theory comes in. Because in episode 2, we saw not only the third Summit car ever added to be the third returning Summit car during that season. But as we all know, that whole thing just having gone was rounded off with the fourth Summit car ever added, and it was so completely and entirely obvious, especially now that we know it, that we're going in order with all returning Summit cars. And that's why my single most driven car in the game at 7,183 miles is coming back. And then after that, we get another return of the F12 TDF, which of course, because they're going in order, they're basically having to ignore the fact that some of them have ran a lot already. The Porsche, it's like the fourth or something, maybe the fourth or fifth time that's ran, the Wasp. But now you know that it's coming back and why it's coming back, which if you don't know what that means for episode 2, is that we're getting the Ghost Recon Edition Raptor and the Edition 1 Bugatti Veyron. But yes, this thing. Now you know why it's coming back and why it makes sense that it's coming back and what's coming after it, right? But what does it mean for a car like this to come back? See, the hypercar spec was originally, I don't actually think I know what the original meta, oh, I forgot this thing's white underneath. The original hypercar meta, I don't really know what that was. I think probably some fancy hypercar, I don't know. But eventually we got the Lamborghini Egoista, a concept Lamborghini that then became the best hypercar in the spec. Till we get the Divo, and I think the Divo was maybe alright, and the rest of the things were maybe alright. But at the very end of that whole era of the Egoista being the best Summit car, we get something known to you as the Bugatti Magma Edition, which players would come to realize was the brand new best hypercar in the spec. Oh, that's a really cool livery. Makes me want to go all French. Bonjour, oui, oui. I surrender. I believe these are the tires it came out with, I want to say. I think so. They look familiar. So yes, this car you're looking at right here was then known as the best hypercar in the spec. And it still kind of holds up. Like, it's a still very nice to use and very usable hypercar. Definitely one of the better cars in the spec. Of course, eventually it was matched with the Emerald Edition, which, unlike other similar cars, you know, sometimes we get the F-150 Raptor. Enforcer is the best in Rally Raid, but then when they added the F-150 Raptor, same model, but space, that one was terrible. This time around, we didn't see that because the Emerald Edition was actually on par with, if not sometimes better, than the Magma Edition here. But the Magma Edition was only then toppled, well, not even toppled, leveled by the Levucha Noir. The Levucha Noir was similar to the Magma Edition. It was, like, pretty close, at least. You sometimes were, in fact, they were definitely more stable. The Levucha Noir definitely more stable than the Magma Edition. Just driving this thing right now, it is very, very it's very nice. But because it was the most, well, because it was the best car in the spec, people always ask for this thing to come back. Always. I would genuinely say this and the Peppermente, the highest demanded Summit cars out of every Summit car to come back. This and the Peppermente, yeah, by far, I would say. I never see any others mentioned as much as these two. And then, you know, the 300 Plus comes around, the Chiron 300 Plus, and it absolutely demolishes the Levucha Noir and this thing, you know. It was unfortunate when the 300 Plus came because it didn't just topple the Senna, it didn't just topple the, well, the Senna still had its own place. It didn't just topple the Aventador for highest top speed, the Senna for the short turny races, the Levucha Noir for overall, and the two Divo brothers, the Emerald and the Magma. You know, it toppled all of that. It just massacred the whole hypercar spec. But then, about halfway through this episode right here, 4 weeks from now, it'll be on screen, obviously, this thing is returning. So, are you going to be buying, sorry, not buying, are you going to be getting this thing in now here where all of the summits are rerunning? Are you going to be getting the reran cars? Beginning, well, not beginning, it's already began, continuing with one of the highest demanded cars ever to be in the game. In fact, I want to see how well this thing holds up still. By the way, subscribe with notifications on, it'd be very much appreciated. Let's take this thing into a quick race just to really feel it out, because I miss when this thing was the best car in the spec, you know. It's my most driven car, I believe. Wait, am I wrong on that? I might be wrong on that. Wait, okay. Tell me I haven't been lying about this fact. Driving Divo Magma Edition. Favorite vehicle. Yup, it's my most driven car. Crazy. Here we go. I don't have a Nitro Chemist, but you know what? I think this is, I mentioned this in a couple of the videos for the early access. Obviously, over on the Stick Drift podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. I genuinely think this is one of the best updates ever for the Summit. We got the Lucky Dragon, which looks so sick, man. It's so sick. I've driven it. A early video of the Lucky Dragon will be out. I tried to take like a really sway line, like really tight to the wall, whatever. A video playing with the Lucky Dragon early will be out at some point this week, because obviously I had it on the early access, so that'll be out soon. I'm gonna start recording some of the videos on the new update too on stream and whatnot, so check out the live streams. I stream normal days, like Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, something like that. But I'm kind of wishy-washy with when I'm actually streaming. I want to get more consistent on it, okay? So check out the streams and whatnot, so I can actually be rather consistent with streaming. But yeah, we got the Lucky Dragon, one of the best Summit cars ever in the game. Then we've got the return of the Magma Edition, one of the most asked for Summit cars in the game. Then we've got the Coupe Baby. I don't know what its name is, but it's the Coupe Baby in touring car, and it's a pretty sick one. We see it in the trailers. It's a pretty cool, you know, it's a touring Summit car. All the touring Summit cars have been pretty cool. You know, unfortunately, the Duke Edition or whatever, that thing is a bit unnoticeable as a Summit car, which is it always sucks. That seems to be the trend, though. Like, the KTM RCAR Power Track, you can't tell that thing is the Summit version either. It's just a livery, is what it is. But, you know, this one is actually kind of unique. And then we get the return of the Ferrari F12 TDF. Again, another asked for Summit car. The rarest Summit car in the game. You know, it's going to be quite nice when we get that thing back. And it's another hypercar. And by that week, I'm going to be well into filming for episode 2 of this update. So, you know, look forward to that, I guess. For sure, genuinely, like, no shot, actually one of the best updates for the Summit we have had in a very, very long time. The Summit's in the middle or whatever. The Mix Summit, that April Fool's one, That one's pretty fun, right? That one looks really fun. And it seems to have confirmed that we're getting a drift limousine, which... that's kind of fun. Of course, videos on that soon and whatnot. And there we go. Oh, God, I've got so many videos to do. There's so many videos. Well, I'm going to be streaming. And I record a lot of my videos. Hey, I did the good 360. I'm going to be streaming and I record most of my videos on the stream, right? So, check out my live streams just to get videos. I just thought about it. Even though if you're a member, you get the finished version of the videos early. If you just watch the live streams, you get the most raw version of the videos earlier than anyone else. Which which is pretty crazy now that I think about it. And goddamn, this iconic Summit car is really returning. In a